Geometry Dash is, at its core, a skill-based game. Almost every challenge in the game can be overcome with practice and consistency. But there are a few scenarios that, while theoretically possible within the rules of the game, are so unlikely that they will effectively never occur in the entire history of Geometry Dash. In this video, I will go through a few of these events and explain exactly how possible or impossible they really are. Chompstep is essentially Clubstep with one change. Every Clubstep monster has a 50% chance to close its mouth. If it closes, the run ends immediately, regardless of player skill. Clubstep contains 35 monsters, so the chance of all of them staying open in one run is 1 in 34 billion. This alone makes the level practically unplayable. But the more interesting question is not the chance of beating Chompstep, it's a chance of experiencing certain streaks of bad luck inside it. As mentioned, each monster has a 50-50 chance of killing you. Dying to the first monster once is 1 in 2. Twice in a row is 1 in 4, and so on. But consider a theoretical scenario. You attempt Chompstep 30,000 times, and on every single attempt, the very first monster kills you. Mathematically, that's 1 in 2 to the power of 30,000, or 1 in 10 to the power of 9,031, that 10 followed by 9,000 zeros. To give you an idea of how rare this is, imagine taking every atom in the entire observable universe, around 10 to the 80 atoms, and putting them into a box. You pick one atom at random, mark it, put it back, and then pick again. The chance of picking the same atom twice is 1 in 10 to the 80 power. And somehow, the Chompstep streak is even more unlikely than that. In simple terms, this event is so unlikely that calling it impossible is not an exaggeration. Even if every human being on Earth played Chompstep continuously for billions of years, you would never expect to see it occur a single time.
Now let's consider a different kind of theoretical event. Imagine someone kidnapped you and asked you to play Tidal Wave completely blind. He says he will only release you if you beat it. Let's look at your chances of beating the level and escaping, if there are any. Tidal Wave is 167 seconds long. Still can't escape the 6-7 meme. At 240 frames per second, the level contains 40,080 frames. If we treat each frame as having an equal chance of being clicked or not clicked, then the probability of randomly producing the exact correct 40,000 frame sequence is... oh boy, you're not ready for this. 1 in 2 to the power of 40,080, or approximately 1 in 10 to the power of 12,065. That's a 1 followed by 12,065 zeros. Looks like Zoink got a new challenge on his hand.
Isn't this cute? Or is it just me?
Okay, maybe not. This number is so astronomically large that it breaks all comprehension. To put it into perspective, imagine the entire observable universe. As I said before, it contains roughly 10 to the 80 atoms. Now, imagine we take every single atom in the universe, and we use those particles to represent possible runs. Even if you had 10 to the power of 12,000 separate universes, all of them filled with 10 to the power of 80 particles, you still wouldn't have enough possible combinations to even approach this probability. We cannot find a physical reference, not atoms nor the stars, to ground this immense probability. It is, by all reasonable definitions, an event that is truly impossible. But this is still not as impossible as your dad returning from the milk store. Finally, let's look at a scenario far beyond even blind tidal wave. To understand this, we have to climb what I call the ladder of impossibility. If beating tidal wave blindfolded was level 1, impossible for a human, then this next scenario is level 2, impossible for the universe itself. Take any modern high object count level, tidal wave, aperture, or anything with around 60,000 objects. Now, imagine randomly placing objects, randomly moving them, randomly changing colors, rotations, scales, layers, literally every single parameter the editor allows. What are the chances that this random process produces that exact same level? To estimate this, assume each object has around 10 to the 18th possible states. The total number of possible 60,000 object combinations is 10 to the power of 1,080,000. So, the probability of recreating that exact level is 1 in 10 to the power of 1,080,000. That is a 1 followed by over 1 million zeros. This number is so unbelievably large that it has no physical meaning. It is beyond atoms, beyond particles, and beyond any calculation related to the actual universe. But it gets more interesting. You might wonder why the math breaks so quickly. It's because every single object you add doesn't just add to the difficulty, it multiplies the total complexity by another 10 to the 18th states, again and again. This exponential explosion leads us to a 200,000 object level. Someone actually approximated the odds for a level of that size, and the result was, well, it was already absurd. A 1 in 10 to the power of 16, quadrillion, zeros. That's a 1 followed by 16 quadrillion zeros. To put that in perspective, if you tried to write that number down on paper, and every zero was the size of a single atom, you would run out of space in the observable universe before you even finished writing the first percent of the number. It's just ridiculous. But let's look at it another way. Data. A simple text file containing those 16 quadrillion zeros would be roughly 16 petabytes in size. You would need 16,000 high-end, 1 terabyte hard drives just to store the digits of that one single number. And keep in mind, that was only for 200,000 objects. Now we reach the top of the ladder. Level 3, impossible for mathematics itself. Compare those numbers to corn, a level with over 1 million objects. Once you scale the logic up to 1 million, the numbers don't just grow, they evaporate into nonsense. 200,000 objects leads to 16 quadrillion zeros. 1 million objects leads to, well, let's just say the number of zeros would be so high that even the word quadrillion becomes a microscopic unit of measurement. Comparing a quadrillion to the probability of corn is like comparing a single drop of water to every ocean on every planet in the entire galaxy. At that point, the probability becomes so astronomically small that it can't even be expressed meaningfully. There is no analogy, no comparison, and no physical reference in the universe large enough to make sense of it. It is the definition of a mathematical never. But there is one more thing, a chance so impossible that even if you had a trillion years, you wouldn't even be close to seeing it happen. It's something you see every single time you start the game. On the main menu, those random icons that slide across the background, those icons aren't just a simple loop. They are random combinations of every single customization in the game. Every cube, ship, ball, UFO, wave, robot, spider, swing, and jetpack. All paired with every possible primary color, secondary color, and glow effect. When you factor it all in, there are roughly 4 octillion possible icon sets. That's a 4 followed by 27 zeros. If you ever saw the same icon set twice, it would already be incredibly rare. A 1 in 4 octillion event. But we aren't stopping there. Now, most people think that if you want to see that same set 3 times in a row, you just add the numbers together. But you're not most people. You know it's rarer than that. Still, the math is far more brutal than you think. Because each event is independent, you have to multiply them. 4 octillion times 4 octillion times 4 octillion. That's 64 followed by 81 zeros. To put that in perspective, There are only about 10 to the 80 atoms in the observable universe. This single event is already 10 times larger than the number of atoms in existence. Now, let's look at you. Imagine you're a dedicated player with 30,000 hours in the game. Over 10 years, you've opened the game maybe 20,000 times. Every time you open it, you see 2 icons. Every time you close it, you see 2 more. That's 80,000 chances to see a random icon set. The probability of seeing the exact same icon set every single time you opened the game for those 10 years is 1 in 4 octillion, raised to the power of 80,000. By the way, that's also your chance of getting a girlfriend. This isn't just a low chance. This is a number so small that if you tried to write it down, the zeros would stretch from here to the edge of the galaxy. It is a probability so microscopic that for all of human history, it is effectively 0. If you ever see the same icon set twice, you might want to touch some grass. I mean, just kidding. Don't leave the video. But seriously, if you did witness this, you've witnessed something that the laws of physics say shouldn't happen in the entire lifespan of 1 trillion universes. It is the ultimate never. You probably noticed I haven't asked you to subscribe yet. To be honest, I didn't want to ask unless the video actually deserved it. So if you liked this, maybe hit the sub button and the like button. It really helps out. This took me a whole month to edit, so I hope it was worth it. And since we're finally here, Happy New Year, guys. And lastly, thanks for watching.